Welcome to a slightly different edition of Fellowship of the Tables. I'm your DM for this evening, Aramis, and this is going to be the first episode of our new campaign. So, with me, we have Juan, Broken Milk,
Hello.
Narrator,
Hi.
and Joshua.
Hello.
And
Hi.
Savo is running a little bit late, but he'll hopefully be here soon.
I still can't believe he's fucking dead.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't even survive to session 1. Oh. No. So, first things first, we are running this game and a bunch of other games on the Fellowship of the Tables Discord. I think there's a command Discord in the chat. We'll pop up with an invitation. If you want to pop in, take a look around, maybe play some games, we'd be happy to have you. And that's the one major announcement I believe I'm legally contracted to give. So with that, I think we are ready to hop in.
All right. Giggity.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Woo.
Check, check. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Is that all right?
Hello.
Okay. I will just do it on the fly a little bit, I guess, with tech issues, but that's right.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, sorry.
That's no problem.
Many issues I've had with my speaking through my life. Anyways.
No worries.
Let's get this rolling. So here is my monologue to start this campaign.
No pressure.
All right.
Go ahead. All right.
All right. Isteries, a vast, unexplored continent, previously only home to a few tribes of orcs, gnolls, and goblins. This newly discovered continent is the target of an exodus. Thousands of people, drawn by the promise of glory, freedom, knowledge, and gold, are looking to make their place in this new world. In the 5 years since the first ship arrived, their newcomers have been able to create a massive walled city, which they dubbed Anaret. Due to the rapid influx of people, the city quickly closed its gates, unable to keep up with the sheer volume of newcomers. Thus, a large community has formed outside the walls among tents provided by the city guards, and took to calling themselves the Tent Town. Here, individuals from all walks of life live, learning and hoping to and working and hoping to earn their way into the city and into the records of history. Among these tents sits a strange phenomenon, a white tent, just like any other, with a sign out front labeled the Sunlit Stallion, and inside containing only a freestanding wooden door. A couple of groups of hopeful adventurers have stumbled into this tent and found this door, opened it, and stepped inside, hoping to find answers and a way to achieve their goals. So, as you all, through your various trials and tribulations, have eventually found your way here, different members of your parties have stepped forward, taken hold of the handle of the door, and pulled it open. And launching into another monologue. So, as you open this wooden door, let me change this. Sorry. You are immediately greeted with the familiar sounds of a large tavern. As your eyes adjust to the darker light, you see a long, massive tavern, roughly 50 feet wide by 150 feet long, with a long bar going the entire length of one of the long walls, manned by various men, women, and younger folk, all happily serving drinks to the many patrons. The walls are decorated with a number of torches and small paintings, with one massive mural displaying 5 heroic-looking figures dominating the wall opposite the bar. As you look around the table, most are full, a few empty, and there is a huge variety of patrons. You see common-looking working folk seemingly getting some different food before going to day's work, some clearly combat-focused groups chatting and laughing or poring over maps before they move out to the next job. You see, standing above many of the others, a group of massive men, Goliaths, half-orcs, and humans, all carrying comically large weapons and drinking heavily this early in the morning. And at the far end of the tavern, you see a large group of a different nature, people wearing robes, carrying tomes, arguing over innocuous details of books, or carefully working with ingredients and alchemical supplies. As you take this all in, the 3 of you from the Monday group will step in first. So let's start. Actually, let's start with Julius. So as you take the
you
lead
son
and
of a
step
bitch.
inside, what do you look like?
I'm just gonna, generally like sort of look around, get the feeling of the places. Like once I walk in, does it seem like anyone is specifically paying attention to me, or am I just like another head amongst them all?
You're very much just another head. You get some, from the humans especially, you get some baleful eyes, but nobody seems outright hostile.
Okay, that's good, I guess. Then I'll go ahead and I'll assume there's like a barkeep or something, yeah? Like a main hub sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of going to have you all walk in before we continue. Yeah, and so behind him, Jed.
Behind him, you see a human with mostly like leather traveling clothes on. He doesn't look really special at all, but it's really his expression. As most people walk through the door, they probably just kind of look around and are like, "Huh, this guy has his eyes wide open, and his mouth is wide open, and he's constantly just like, what's that? What's that?" I guess he's probably talking in the general direction of Julius, but considering Julius is all business, he's probably ignoring him because he's used to him by now. But but he sees Julius walking off, and he quickly follows him because he is obviously out of his element.
Okay. And shortly behind them, you see another, much shorter figure as a slight halfling wearing a beret steps up behind them, kind of keeping a little shyly behind them, wearing a nice beret instead of armor, along with a somewhat bejeweled rapier at his side. And as you all step in, you see a man dressed much nicer behind the bar than the other workers, with a human with dark skin, bald head, and a great bushy black beard. Kind of looks over at you with a giant smile and shouts out, "Ah, new faces! Please, welcome, welcome, come on in." And he waves you over to the bar.
All right, then I'll go ahead and follow his directions and sort of, making sure no one's trying to like, loot through my pockets or anything while I'm going over there because this place is shady as all balls.
I guess Jed is looking around, and it takes a moment before he finally notices that Julius has walked off without him, and he runs after him.
All right. So Jeppo, the halfling, kind of nudges you to grab your attention for that. And he stays kind of shyly between you two, keeping an eye for any hands reaching for your pockets in this new bar. So as you approach, you see this man behind the bar. Just his smile gets even wider, if it's possible, as he looks you all up and down. Ah, I'm always happy to have new people in town. So, what can I do for you?
Julius will sort of like, look around like side to side real quick. His rather, somewhat pretty cultured looking self sort of sticking out from the rest of the bar as he goes, "Well, I don't know. I suppose. What do you do?"
Well, suppose I should introduce myself then. My name is Jaros Carr. This is my fine establishment I've been running for a few years now in various locations. I'll put that in chat real quick.
I thought you said. Okay, I thought you said Jero ska, like as in ska music, and I was about to be like, this dude is so cool.
And all of a sudden, a horn section jumps in. Jed blurts out, "How did you fit this bar inside of this door?"
He cut off a bit at the end there, but I think we got it. So he kind of looks over you with a twinkle in his eye. Oh, it's just a simple conjuration spell, a bit modified through my studies. It's very useful and provides a very nice atmosphere among the tents here, as I'm sure you'd agree.
Wow.
As I was saying, I run this tavern, provide for people both jobs and food and water for those who are a little less, shall we say, enriched in this new world, and get a lot of information and great stories because of it.
Oh, I love that. I bet you've heard so many great stories.
Oh, things you couldn't imagine. And speaking of things you couldn't imagine, the door once again behind you swings wide open. And stepping heavily in up front, Ginger Snap, if you would like to describe yourself.
Ginger Snap is a gnoll, first and foremost, but she's an especially large gnoll. She has a very bulky frame, and she's very tribal looking. She's not, she has, like braids in her hair a bit, just kind of scattered. But surprisingly, she's wearing these very ill-fitting, very, very too small traveler's clothes. And she has like human-sized backpack on her. Well, not like human, like, I mean, sized for a human, not the size of a human. And tied or strapped to her back is this huge great axe, almost as comically large as some of the other large folk described in the bar. Her kind of face, her muzzle, seems to always have a bit of a red tint, and her teeth seem to be stained perpetually pink. And as she walks into this bar, and just for size, she is like 7'7", but she has kind of a hunch. So she's sized about, her head's about 7 foot in the air. She's a very big gnoll, lumbers in and licks her nose and sniffs. She's like, look, she seems to be scanning these crowds, looking for something.
As you look around, you see quite a few of the patrons kind of turn and look at you and stop their conversations. You get some baleful looks, but as you look around, you don't see any of the people you were looking for. Yeah.
She snorts and turns to look back at the next person walking through the door.
Yeah. And as there's some muttering and baleful looks cast at her. They all go completely silent as they see the next person walk in. Obo?
As Obo walks in, everybody would notice a 6 foot tall, but almost equally as wide, turtle man. His very wide, blonde, and rounded shell on his back with black and blue markings on it. He's green skinned with soft eyes and a wide brimmed rice hat. By his side, he's carrying a big, but not as comically big as Ginger's axe, stick. As well as patchwork traveler's clothes that look like they have been modified in order to fit his awkward frame. And as he steps in, he will look around for a second in awe and wonderment and say, "Wow, Ginger, there's a hooch house in here."
Yeah. She gestures towards the crowds with her large hand, and is about to say something, and then her ears twitch, and she notices the silence, and she turns back to the crowd and like almost bares her teeth.
And as there's that pretty oppressive silence, you hear it broken by a loud laugh and slow clapping, and you turn back and see that same barkeep, just full-hearted laughing. Oh, it's been too many years since I've seen one of your kind, Toro. Please, come in. And he waves you two over as well.
Obo would approach, as he
She-
seems to be the most friendly person here.
She lags behind Obo, still kind of baring her teeth at the crowd and clutching her clawed hands into fists.
As you step up, and there are stools there, but for you two, probably not as comfortable as for the more human-like members. And he leans forward on the bar. Well, I'm very curious to hear what's brought you two to my humble bar.
Well, you see, we were looking for about a trio of knoll folk like her. I don't suppose you seen any walk in.
Seen a couple groups, none with your particular markings, so I can't say for sure.
And Obo will just kind of look at Ginger, and then look back at the barkeep and say, "What is this place? How is this place?"
He lights up in a smile. Well, to put it simply, this is somewhat of a extra-dimensional space, if you will. A bit of
what?
magic, there's a couple spells that can make places like this, and I did a bit of experimentation and found one that I like. And here we are, serving drinks and making people happy.
Oh, that's mighty admirable of you.
She, Ginger Snap kind of thunks Obo on the shoulder and flicks her head over to this weird waving human.
Obo, having not noticed that earlier, would also turn over and look at the human.
Hi!
Howdy there. And you are? As Obo kind of slowly opens and reaches his hand towards the figure.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm Jed Swineherd. I'm a former pig farmer from a kingdom far away. You're a giant turtle. I love it.
Yes. Pig
I'm
farmer.
sorry, I'm so excited. I haven't seen a lot in my life, and I'm just now getting to see all these amazing new things, like this green man that I'm standing next to, and this little person that's a child but not a child, and this. What are you, ma'am?
Is he talking about Ginger?
I think he's talking to you.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. She grumbles. No. No.
That is wonderful.
She grins. Yep. More than you know.
And Jed, having talked about the green skinned fellow, Obo will kind of look past Jed a little bit at said green skinned fellow.
All right, yeah, there's what appears to be a pretty tall half orc, maybe a bit over 6 foot 2 or 3 inches by the looks of it. Well dressed in fine looking clothing with a pretty well-groomed look. Like well taken care of facial hair. His hair seems to be tightly pulled back into a ponytail with a set of golden spectacles that sit upon his nose. And as he sort of look towards, he sort of just gives a quick nod of his head as he says, "Yes, it is. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Julius."
And Obo will reach out his hand and says, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. My name's Obo."
Very well, Obo. And who is your hairy friend?
Ginger
Oh,
Step kind of interrupts the conversation. She's glaring daggers at Julius. Wrong. What's wrong with you?
I could ask you the same question.
Pale, small. What are you?
Pale, small. It sort of looks as he's taller than most people in the room.
He is a half orc, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Sort of looks back towards Obo. Is your friend very well, like mentally?
oh, I guarantee it.
Growls and like
But
weird, like she's
we
clutching
did run
her hands at
into we did run into some kin of yours apparently earlier yesterday.
I'm not from around this place, so I have my doubts.
Suffice it to say, they weren't pleasant.
Oh yes, they are usually uncivilized when without much coup. So yes, I suspect them to be rather bad.
Huh. He seems legit, and he looks over to Ginger Snap.
she grumbles something under her breath. Ginger Snap, I'm Ginger Snap. You're wrong. What are you? Your name or thing?
If you're asking about my lineage, my father was a rather famous tactician back in my homeland, and my mother was an orc shaman.
Her face is just scrunched up. Name?
Well, as I said earlier, I am Julius.
Bad name. I'm Ginger Snap, she repeats.
Nice to meet your acquaintance, Ginger.
And Obo will kind of position himself in between the two and says, "How about we sit down for a drink?"
I do not drink, but I shall be glad to sit with you and talk, if that's what you so wish.
And Obo will attempt to sit on one of the chairs.
Okay, let's see. The chair kind of scrunches a little bit, but it holds your weight.
Excuse me, bartender. Can I get a mug of ale for me and my compatriot here? And he kind of points over his shoulder towards Ginger Snap.
Well, of course.
and possibly something to calm him down. And I point at Jed.
Oh, thank you.
3 ales coming up. And he kind of motions, and you see another worker, a younger man, kind of quickly grab 3 mugs, fill them up, and bring them over, slide them down the bar to you 3.
Well, I'll take mine, give it a sniff, and then start drinking.
She copies Oboe's movements and takes the ale, sniffs it, and then starts lapping it up, like a dog, as you do.
Oboe, it's pretty good. It's not quite as intense as what you're used to from your homeland, but not bad.
It's
Ginger Snap, do you think you would have ever had ale before?
No.
Oh God.
uh-oh.
It is like mud with some leaves mixed in it. It's like bitter and not great.
She coughs and like licks her mouth like she's trying to like rid it of the taste, and like sets the ale down very harshly. It kind of the water, sorry, the ale in the ale cup like kicks up with how harshly she sets it down, and she sticks out her tongue, and like just her whole face wrinkles up, and she's like, poison?
Yeah. You of all people, I wouldn't have expected to be a lightweight. No.
Not lightweight. I can lift many branch I can lift.
Oh, I guess I meant to say tolerate then. It's drink. It's good. Trust me.
No, it's bad. Like, and she like
Darrow's kind of
sputtering.
Why don't you
notices you
swap?
struggling. He notices you struggling with this. Oh, right. I remember something the other gnolls seemed to lack. Give me a sec. He turns around and goes below the counter, mixing something. And he comes up with a mug with a darker red liquid in it and slides it over to you.
She sniffs it. Can I identify it by smell?
Roll me an investigation check with advantage. Thanks for the advantage.
Oh Jesus.
So you're sniffing. It's something with berries, but you also get a scent of something else. It smells not bad, though.
All right. Yeah, she'll start lapping at it, see how it tastes. She's like looking up at the bartender suspiciously as she does so.
It's a bit tangy, but pretty good. It's a hint of like a little bit bloody almost.
Yeah, she's lapping it up pretty eagerly though, and kind of swats her ale to Oboe. Mutters something about poison. Mutters something about have your own poison, and then continues lapping up her own drink.
Although we'll take the mug, it is now double fisting mugs of ale.
All right.
Is this poison?
Do you want to try? And he puts the mug over to us.
I think he had already bought me one, and he's been drinking it. He probably drank half or more.
Now, sir,
Cheers.
what kind of farmer were you that you've never tried ale before?
Oh man, well we ranch pigs, and that usually takes quite a bit of effort. You see, you gotta make sure they're inseminated correctly, and he goes into this kind of rambling speech about pig farming.
And Opal will now halfway through, start pretending to listen.
Ginger Snap has finished her drink at this point, but because she was lapping it up, like her whole just snout is just completely red with the liquid now. But she's pretty happy with herself.
And it's one drink. I'm not going to make you roll con saves yet. So Jaros once again leans in, seeing you kind of get into a lull. Oh, you can go ahead, Jed.
I was just gonna ask, Oboe and Ginger, where are you all from?
She gets kind of defensive. Here! I am from here! She's kind of looks angry.
I didn't mean to offend. I'm sorry. You can tell he's quite intimidated.
It seems like your friend Obo has a rather temper on her.
Well, that's to be expected. I mean, we didn't get the warmest of welcome on our way in town.
Yes, what was it exactly? You mentioned something about orcs that is completely different.
Well, I can't say much that I know about this place, but all I do know is that they were tall, green-skinned, and very hungry looking. They met us on the road on our way into this tent city. They tried to kill us. Luckily, if it hadn't been for her, though, I'd most certainly have perished. So I promise you, her temperament may be foul, but her heart is good.
Well, fair enough, I suppose. I've known quite a few men like that myself, so.
And Obo will kind of, idly chit chat, but also kind of look back at the bartender.
Oh yes, there's been word of orcs ever causing trouble. We've put out a few bounties on some particular members of the tribes who have been very active, but haven't been successful as of yet. Anyways.
Go ahead.
So looks by the sounds of it that you're all quite capable. And he looks at the other three, and you think you could handle a blade?
I suppose.
I know there are more methods than just steel and wooden staves to get a job done, but it's a figure of speech. I see. Since you're all fairly new here, figure you could use a little something to get you on your feet, maybe get a few coins.
Well, that'd be much appreciated. Funds are kind of low right now.
Yeah, that hotel was real expensive.
Yes, it was rather pricey, I'll admit.
Oh, let me guess you stayed over by the docks. They crank those prices up pretty high. Thanks to all the business they can get away with it.
Yes, luckily for me, I've no shortage of coin to spare, but I believe my dirty friend here isn't quite so lucky.
Hey, I took a bath.
Once.
That's more than some people.
Well, if you're all interested in getting a little head start, you can talk to my associate, Leda Crow. And he gestures towards a board on the opposite wall where you see a kind of cloaked, hooded figure leaning against a job board, you assume, with several postings. And as you watch him for a moment, you see a faint flash of light as a new sheet of paper just appears, pinned to the board on its own.
Gingersnap looks to Oboe, kind of tilting her head.
Oboe will look back at Gingersnap. He said, "Well, these jobs could potentially get us in good with the city. Plus, we may meet some deserters along our path."
She perks up and nods vigorously.
Oboe would go and inspect the board.
I love dessert.
All right, as you make your way between the tables, you're still getting very much stared at, and you hear hushed tones, people repeating the word turtle that they heard the barkeep use. They're all kind of wondering what you're about. But you look at the board, and as you step up, the hooded figure kind of looks over at you. I haven't seen you around.
Are you speaking to Oboe?
Yeah.
We were told we might find employment here on this board. Is there anything that you might suggest for our humble troop?
Oh, just you two, or he looks over at the bar. 5 now.
I look back at them and, well, the more the merrier. If they're willing to come, I say, we'd be able to split and everybody get an even share.
He kind of turns his face upwards, and you get a peek at like heavily scarred cheek and his right eye. The rest is obscured by the shadow as he kind of looks at you and not quite stares, but narrows his eye as if studying you. And he reaches up to the board, pulling his arm out from under his cloak, grabs a piece of paper without even looking and just holds it out to you. I think this might serve you well.
Well, thank you kindly. And Oboe will take the paper and then bring it back to Gingersnap and Julius.
Aw.
Huh.
Oboe will read it for Gingersnap.
Okay. You look down and you see hastily written down in basic handwriting that we've received a message that a hunter in Olviri village found a strange stone chunk of sorts that seemed to be glowing slightly. But nobody in the village is able to read the runes that are on the stone. We recently received words that they were unable to deliver it for fear of orcs or troubles on the road, and would like an adventuring party to go and retrieve it for them. Payment is 10 gold per person when the job is complete.
Well, that sounds mighty intriguing. I'm sorry, what was the location? Was there a location stated?
Olviri village. I'll type that out.
Okay. Oboe would like to ask the bartender what Olviri village is and where it is.
He takes a moment to
Mr.
think. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think that's about a day and a half northeast of here. Straight down the road. Usually a pretty simple journey, but I understand where they can be a little skittish. As I'm sure you saw, he looks meaningfully at you, Oboe.
I have been noticing people have been rather off-put by me as of late. I'll try to be careful.
Well, I meant the orcs. People don't tend to want to travel unguarded.
Oboe will get kind of a concerning look on his face and look back at Julius, Jed, and to the small one whose name I forgot. He said, I know we just met, but I really would appreciate your company. last encounter that we've had with the orcs was a little too close for comfort.
Well, I suppose there is safety in numbers, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, but they wouldn't attack us because Mr. Julius's bottom half is orc.
And I don't quite know about that. Some of these orcish fellows are rather rude, I suppose the word would be.
Well, that's a shame.
Gingerstep looks at Julius and Jed and kind of scowls. What weapon you use? How you fight? How you be useful?
You see Julius, sort of like stick out his finger, pointing it towards Gingersnap, and then as he says, "Well, it's quite simple, really." And he goes, "Bang!" like rather loudly, and what seems like a shower of sparks seems to come out of his finger.
She looks at it. She kind of shrugs and grumbles to herself something about humans, and then turns to Jed.
I guess as she turns to Jed, she feels a tap on her shoulder. And when she looks, she sees a floating disembodied hand. And then it floats in front of Jed and gives her a thumbs up and disappears.
She cackles. She seems like, I don't know how to describe it. She like slaps her knee and she's like, sad use of sorry, I forgot the name. Sad use of hunt power, hunt magic. Sad.
And you see the small halfling who's introduced himself as Juppo is his name. And he pulls out a rapier that he's like 3.5 feet tall. The rapier is easily 2 feet long. It's a little comical, but it's long and definitely very sharp.
She grins.
And he quickly puts it away.
Small have real weapon.
Jed's ale is getting quite cold, and he points at it, and a cold bolt flies out of it towards the ale. Do I need to roll an attack for that, or can we just say it makes the ale cold?
What are you using?
Ray of Frost.
Okay, as you go to cast the spell, you see a kind of shine out of the corner of your eye, and the spell does not work.
Huh.
The barkeep kind of leans over to you. If you don't mind, we have rules against evocation and necromancy in the establishment on account of keeping everything together, you see.
Oh, all right. I knew this could hurt people if I did that. I was just trying to colden up my beer.
Oh, don't worry, there are other spells for that purpose. And he taps it with his finger, and you see it cool down. A little bit of frost on the side forms.
Cool.
Alrighty, so a man with a pointed sword and 2 men of arcane persuasion. That's good enough for me.
I think I'd like to join y'all. I mean, how can you beat a giant dog person, a giant turtle person, a giant green person, and a tiny small person?
Well, where I come, well, I'm sorry.
I'm looking to learn a whole lot more about the world than I already know, and I think I've learned a whole lot more than anybody else I know right now. So I'd like to stick with y'all if it's all right.
Gingerstep kind of scowls. Not dog. Dog small, subservient. Am hyena person. Get right.
Jed salutes her and says, "Hi, in a person." All right. Sorry, I'm getting into my old character. Hyena person. Okay.
All right. Barkeep pipes up once again. So, anything else you'd need from me that I could provide for your first outing into this world? I assume most of you don't seem local.
That is correct, yes.
Mayhap if there's any important information about the roads of the town we wish to head to, other than the fact that there are orcs, that would be appreciated.
Hmm. Well, he looks over at Ginger Snap. I assume she would have more pertinent information than I would, but just rumors that I've heard from travelers. Orcs are the usual issue. Occasionally have some goblins who like to sneak and rob travelers when they're not paying attention. And there's a number of interesting creatures as well. Some boars, a few panthers, mountain lions, typical dangerous things. If you stay to the roads, you shouldn't have to worry about those, but then you'll have to deal with the orcs and possibly bandits. I know there are some who make a living on that despite the offerings we offer in the city.
She grins and proudly shows off her boar tusks, which have been wrapped on a crude rope around her neck, and she says, "I know way. I know way better than road."
That is right. You were mighty handy there in the forest.
And
All
even
right.
if bandits, I eat bandit.
Well, how many bandits can your stomach fit?
She thinks for a moment. Depends if small.
Fair enough, I suppose.
I'm glad I'm not a bandit.
And Obo will kind of take out his 3 gold and say, "How much do I owe you for the drinks?" And kind of count them in his hand.
3 drinks. For the tales I've gotten here, consider it on the house.
Oh, then I promise you will hear many more tales from me when I return. And he kind of chuckles and puts his coins back in his pocket.
Hey!
Well.
Holy cow.
He's
Look what the
here.
cat dragged in.
Well, you said a few minutes, so
So, an hour is just about as right. You're right?
what do you
Okay.
mean an hour?
So,
But you have to tell me.
started 50 minutes ago.
But you have to tell me, did your grandma get shot?
Anyway. Time zones cause problems. And daylight savings and all that. Anyways. So, Jeppo has arrived. Kind of met the party in the bar and picked up a job. So, yeah.
There's a turtle and a kobold, a giant freaking kobold.
So, narrator is Obo the turtle, and Broken Milk is Ginger Snap the gnoll. And that's basically them introducing. And, okay. The barkeeper, Jaros, leans back in. Now, I know that it's common for adventurers to take healing potions and the such, but we can't exactly hand those out for free. However, he kind of gestures at the robed figures on the far end of the tavern. Those are students hoping to get into the academy in the city of Anaret. Several of them who specialize in potions are given potion kits and told to mix up and do their best. Could probably get some on the cheap from them, but they might not be as effective as proper ones.
Novice made potions. I might take my chances.
That sounds like a good way to get poisoned.
I agree with Half-Breed.
His eyebrow kind of flinches as Ginger Snap says that.
Not saying it's a bad idea though.
Yeah, he kind of shrugs. Well, I know they could probably use the coin, and you could use a little pick-me-up every once in a while, but seems you have a bit of magic among you. You'll be fine.
Obo, now thinking about it, will go over and ask how much one of their novice healing potions would cost. Just as a backup.
So you look at some of the ones closest to you when you walk up are fairly young, look like late teens, you assume, and they're all wearing pretty uniform robes. They look up from what they're mixing poultices and that kind of thing, and they're just startled, staring, gaping mouthed at you.
Now, can I see what they're mixing up?
Roll me. Actually, can you roll whatever that kit is that you'd asked about? Either that or nature. Herbalism kit is the role I'm looking for.
Okay. Shoot.
You're not sure. Might be something new and different from this land. You're not sure.
Ginger Snap lumbers over and looks at the students, kind of glares at them. This heal or this poison?
Because of Obo's proficiency in both herbalism and poisoner's kit, would he at least be able to determine that much?
As you look at it, you don't see anything that you know is poisonous. And they kind of seem very intimidated by the sight of this huge figure glaring down at them. And a younger human male kind of, it's a potion, healing potion. I think I did all right. I followed the instructions to the letter. Yeah, look. And he holds up a reddish potion. It's a little more of a light pink, and you see some pulp, I guess, of berries still floating in it.
Compared to what Obo has made in the past, how does it match up?
To you, it's not too bad for the ones that you've seen around your village, and for the older ones that focus on making and selling the potions, it seems pretty novice. Like they didn't quite finish some of the ingredients enough, but enough that it'll probably have the desired effect, but not to its full efficiency.
Well, seems you may have undercooked it a little bit, but how much would you charge for it?
What? He kind of looks over to a girl sitting beside him, kind of shrugs, like silently have a conversation almost, and 5 gold?
Ginger Snap growls. 5 gold for little maid bad, not correct. And she's like switching in between kind of knowlish, like just barks. She's very angry.
Obo will kind of intervene and say, it is a little much.
Well, I know you said it wasn't fully cooked, but like the real ones are 50. I thought that was alright.
Yeah.
Is Jed around there?
Gold. I don't think I've ever seen 50 gold in my life. Very well. but only because of
Jed, you
emergency.
probably overheard Ginger Snap's outburst.
He's probably gonna walk over there, and he'll hear Obo say, "I don't believe I've ever seen 50 gold in my life." Jed would say, "My goodness, fellas, you guys are charging 50 gold for this magical potion that may or may not work. What can I do to persuade you? Because we sell pig's blood, and it really helps out, and makes men help their wives get happier in the bedroom. Um, I'm sure this has nothing to do with it whatsoever, but we usually charge like 2 silver for that. So how about you say we could meet you somewhere in the middle?"
Well, oh, looks up at Ginger Snap, who I assume is still glaring at him.
And
Yeah.
Obo's kind of holding her back.
Good cop, bad cop.
I'd say Jed can roll persuasion and Ginger Snap can roll intimidation.
Oh, those are both good. Those are both good.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Just make this kid pee his pants. Sorry.
3 gold?
And Obo will hand him 3 gold and take the potion.
Please don't eat me.
Yeah, this Julius starts walking over and sort of like fixing his cups as they've been sort of dirtied. And do you have any more of those?
I just finished the one. Jen? And the blonde human girl beside him kind of looks over. She seems less intimidated by this whole going on. Just a little bit older. Alright, yeah, I'll stick to his standard, I suppose, for 5 gold. She shows another potion that's kind of the opposite effect by your standards, Obo. It seems a little overdone. It's a little bit almost mushy.
Obo will kind of like cringe a little, but knowing that he doesn't have the time nor resources to make one of his own, he kind of looks over towards Julius. It's basically the same thing.
I mean, I figured as much. This is sort of a bootleg, if you will. But very well, I shall pay your 5 gold, madam.
Just crapping all over these poor kids'
Then he
dreams.
sort of like gives her, he just tosses her the 5 gold, and then he looks towards the fellow who basically he shit his pants basically. He's like, and you know what? You seem like you're down in your luck as well, and he tosses him 2.
Oh, thank you, sir. He quickly, with that, shoves the gold into his pocket, picks up the kit in his arms, then quickly runs over to a different table further away from you guys.
Aww.
Ginger Step looks at the girl, draws a javelin, and slams it in the table. And she kind of hunches down to her level, looks her right in the eyes. If feed poison, I eat you.
As you draw a javelin, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, boy.
Oof.
You feel a compulsion to apologize for threatening people and walk out of the bar.
Ooh.
Can I bite my tongue to present myself from apologizing but still walk out?
No.
Okay.
As Julius kind of walks, walk away. He looks towards Obo. Well, I suppose this one isn't quite out trained yet, is she?
And at that comment, Obo will kind of look at Julius silently and squint his eyes.
Oh, so we're not to make jokes about orcs, but not gnolls. I see how it is.
When did I make a joke about an orc?
You didn't, but I didn't see you squinting at anyone when she did.
We were talking about orcs, not you as a person. And is the javelin in the table, or was she not able to get that far?
She wasn't able to get that far.
Okay.
Still holding it in her hand as she walks out.
But just between you and me, it'd probably be prudent that you still be respectful to her. You'll find she may save your life too one day. And Obo will walk out with her.
Ginger Snap is pissed. Ginger Snap is very upset. Is there like anything destroyable within the? Wait, no, probably not the door. I mean, I do have a torch. Can I light a torch?
You can certainly try. Like, you're outside the door now, but still inside the white tent.
Yes.
And since people said they were walking out, they see you as you start to draw a torch from your pack.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Still in the... Wait, how do they see me if I'm in the tent? I thought I'd close the door.
I assume they stepped outside. Sorry, what were you all doing?
Oh, Obo would have stepped outside.
Yeah, I'll follow shortly after.
Jed would have leaned down to the kids in the robes and been like, why are you guys wearing robes? Did you just get out of the shower? Oh, wait. And he sees everybody leaving, and he's like, I'll come back to get the answer. And he follows everybody out.
Ginger Step draws a torch, doesn't light it, looks at Obo, and just glaring at the door. Stupid magic be their downfall. I burn down door. They trap or something. She's sparking.
Now, hold on. I know things are a bit weird in there, but they were hospitable to us. They helped us. And I'll take out the novice healing potion and say, if you or I, or are hurt very, very badly, either drink this or force me to drink it. It'll taste bad, but it will help. And I give her the novice potion of healing.
She calms down a bit. She kind of talks to herself something about the spirit scent, something about hiding, and then puts the potion in her pack and seems to have actually calmed down.
I appreciate that.
Well, that aside, if you did burn it down, we wouldn't be getting our gold back, I think. And he sort of... just like sort of gives a small shrug.
Alrighty. And Obo, I would say, would remember the directions that he was given in order to get to... Second, I have it in my notes. Olviri village. DM?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you got
Obo.
the general northeast direction, and he told you about the main road that goes that way. But he kind of assumed after Ginger Snap said that she knew a route that you would follow that instead.
Alrighty. Well,
At least that's what he seemed to do. You can still decide.
if everybody is okay with it, I don't want to make decisions for everybody else, but is it safe to say we would start heading out towards the village?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do, so sure.
Oh, this is exciting.
All right. Obo would take point, but he would also make sure to have Ginger Snap next to him, as she probably would know the alternate route far better than he.
Okay. So, go ahead.
I was about to say, as we all walk, Julius is sort of just, pulls us pretty long-looking scroll out of his, side satchel, and just sort of begins to read through it silently.
Okay. So, as you all make your way past the numerous tents, eventually it opens up, and you find yourself walking into farmland. You can see it stretches for about half a mile to a mile at parts before you can see the forest in the distance. And as you make your way, get some odd looks, some of you especially, from the various people working the fields. But you make it without being stopped or accosted. And as you enter the forest, instead of taking the main road, Uh, have Ginger Snap or Oboe roll survival with advantage, since you're helping each other.
Oh, I think Oba should roll it.
Uh, okay, so I know Obo may be a little bit better, but I think role playing wise, Obo at this point would be relying on Ginger.
I'll just
Snap.
have you
Yeah.
roll separately because you're doing different things.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So, Ginger Snap, you have a pretty good idea of where to go. You haven't gone this exact route, but you've seen the village. And so you're going the way you remember. Obo, as you're making your way through, you pick up a bit of general direction, manage to follow the position of the sun and the way some of the plants are growing to keep yourself from going off of the path where you might have gotten turned around or gone west by accident. And as you're moving forward, you, with your high survival, shift aside a plant in your way and you look down and you see a massive hoof print.
A massive hoof or hoof print?
Hoof print. As you follow, it seems to be a large four-legged creature that ran off in the west direction.
It was the west direction, and we're going
Northeast at
northeast.
this point.
Yeah. And Obo will look over at Julius and say, Julius, you seem to be a rather well-educated fellow. This hoof print, I know that it would belong to a rather large four-legged beast, but can you identify it?
That's a good point. Can I?
Roll me nature.
Oh boy, I'm moderately okay with that.
It's not a
Oh
pig.
fuck, I don't know shit. It's a
Fuck.
very large pig by the looks of it. Maybe a bull or something. It's strange, really.
Thank you. And I'll bring it to everybody's attention that we should be on the lookout for a large boar-like creature. And,
Can I, how would Obo be able to determine how old the tracks were?
With that survival, you look down, they're fairly fresh within the last 30 minutes to an hour, you'd guess. It's a little bit muddy, but not too bad. Spring rain came through maybe a day or so ago.
Can Ginger Snap try to, I guess, like sniff, like try to get a trail?
Sure, you can roll me another survival.
does she get an advantage because this is a sniff check?
It's not very often that I hear the word sniff check.
Yes, sure.
Okay, and that's survival?
Yes.
I have no idea how to describe it otherwise.
You agree with Obo's synopsis that it's heading west, but as you grab a scent, it's too mixed in with the rest of the forest, and just tracking, you figure that you'd rather just follow the tracks than try to scent.
She grumbles and
It
shakes her
is
head.
visible. There's like bushes trampled and a tree is somewhat cracked up ahead in the direction it was going.
She turns to Obo. Spirit scent. We follow track or go village?
Well, the track of this is head west, and we're headed in a different direction. Personally honest, I feel it's better if we try to miss out on this battle.
Yep. And she she keeps on leading northeast.
Okay. It's where, as you're making your way further into the forest, I'll have everyone make me a perception check.
Oh boy, my favorite.
Okay. Marching order. Okay. Ginger Snap, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Uh-oh.
I have advantage. Oh wait, it's only on things that I can see. I have danger sense. So I would I
Can
get
you
advantage?
quote
or
that
no?
in the chat?
Okay.
I would say it would apply because you don't see this, but you can see it type deal and the wording of the first part.
Okay. That's 1 point great. That's 14.
Yeah,
1 point's 1 point.
not quite. As you're stepping forward, you see looks like just a couple leaves on the ground, and as you step forward, suddenly your foot falls through and you tumble into a pit. And at the bottom are some spikes. So you take 1 piercing damage
Oh no.
as you fall about 10 feet down. And the rest of you all hear war cries in sounds like shrill high voices all around you. And
Can I determine the species or race of the war cries?
you recognize it as a goblin. And if you give me just a moment.
Outstanding. I love this. I'm very excited. I'm sorry, I've been trying to keep it together.
Okay, let's see.
I'm trying to follow the story.
Yeah, you might have had a little bit too much to drink in that there bar.
Okay. So as you take a moment to measure yourself, you're about 10 feet down in this pit. Some of the spikes kind of sticking you in place for a moment. And I will have you all go ahead and roll initiative.
Woo!
Awesome.
Oh, hold on. I forgot to select. I will put it back in.
Come on. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sure, I'll roll for all of them.
Well, uh-oh.
Okay. So, you're closest. First goblin ambusher is going to take a shot at Jed. Uh, 10.
10
Does
does
that
not
hit
hit.
you? Okay. Then other one can't see Ginger Snap, so this one up here will move to get a slightly better vantage point and take a shot at Oboe.
All right.
12 misses.
No. Yeah, no.
Ginger Snap.
Can I try to climb out of this pit?
Sure, make me an athletics check. Easily enough. You break off several of the spikes holding you and use them as a standing point to leap up, grab the edge of the hole, and pull yourself out. I'll say that uses your movement, probably.
Okay. So. Okay, in that case, would I be able to draw a javelin then if I have used my movement?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. then I'm going to, with my bonus action, rage.
Okay.
And then I will draw a javelin and I guess... Well, I'm trying to see the range for javelin. Okay, well... Would I get disadvantage if I tried to throw it at this guy?
No. I think he's within the first range.
Okay,
So, yeah.
then in that case, I will launch a javelin at this guy.
That will hit. 10 damage. With the squawk, he kind of stumbles backwards, but refastens his hold on his bow.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay. Julius.
All right, so sort of, looking around, seeing that all these tiny people have suddenly popped up. Let's see. It's not quite in range. All right, so he'll go ahead and pull on out his dulcimer real quick and just turn towards these fellows, sort of in the tree line, as he begins to play a quick little ditty. And as you hear him yell out something, it's sort of hard to hear over the playing, but it's from what the sound of it is, it's "Villain, I have slain thy mother." And let's see, and he will throw down a fairy fire in a 10-foot radius, so right here for these
Okay.
two. Boop, boop. Well, if it makes a difference, then I'll move it back here. Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, just so you don't hit Ginger Snap. But yeah.
Maybe I should now.
Maybe. We'll see. This is for the top one.
Oh, fuck
And
me.
it's the bottom one. He's fairy fired.
Oh, 1 out of 2 isn't so bad. And with that, I'll go ahead and draw my rapier as well, and that's it.
Okay. So you all see this southmost goblin light up brightly. Jed.
Jed looks at the ones to the northeast of him and he says, "They're scary. I wish they couldn't see me." And then he casts fog cloud on them in that direction.
Ooh.
Okay, you want to draw a square and show me where it goes?
Sure.
Okay. And also roll me a d20.
Up there too.
Okay,
It's a 40-foot diameter circle. So
gotcha. And goes off the side of the map a bit.
yeah.
It's a big square. A
Mhm.
circle.
I see it as a square 40-foot.
Yeah, it's fine. It goes off the side of the map, and you all see this giant white cloud just puff into existence, completely covering that side of the battlefield in the forest. Okay. Anything else?
He draws a dagger and he moves back.
Okay. Next up is the Fairy Fire Goblin. And seeing you insult his mother, it's going to run up with a short sword and try to stab at you, Julius.
Yeah, bring it on, tiny man.
It's a 23.
That'll do it. Wait a second.
You take 4 slashing damage.
All right.
Oh wait, that's 10. That's within 10 feet of me, right? Yay. Can I use my reaction? It's gonna do almost nothing. Can I use my reaction to use the thing? I have the thing. Halo of Spores. Whenever somebody moves within 10 feet of me, they have to make a Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 necrotic damage.
Okay, so that's a con save.
Yeah. An 11 will not make it.
Okay,
So he takes 4 necrotic damage
dang.
as he gags on invisible necrotic spores.
Yeah, as he swings at Julius, he suddenly catches a face full of these spores you fling in his direction and starts coughing.
Are your allergies bad? Mine are too sometimes.
Don't you have advantage on him?
It's a saving throw, so there's no effect to that one. Oh, that does remind me. Julius, make a con save to see if you maintain concentration.
That is true. Bonk. Yeah, but
You're good.
Yeah.
It's Goblin. Let's see. It's going to run straight south and come out of the smoke. Now that he can see again, it's going to turn and look at the short halfling and take a bow shot at you. Jumbo.
I. Oh, fuck, that
So
hits.
15. Okay. Take 3 piercing damage. And it's your turn.
How high is this rock?
It's about 5 feet tall at the highest point.
5 feet.
But there's some decent rocks that you could still hit the goblin from there.
Well, I was thinking of hiding behind it.
You could do that with your size.
In that case, I'm going to move over here and use my bonus action to hide.
Okay, go ahead.
That's stealth, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to use draw my short bow and shoot at this guy.
I didn't see you roll stealth.
I hit 24. I'll roll again if you want.
Is that in roll 20? Okay, it just took a minute. Okay, yeah, 24 hits.
That's stealth.
That's the.
Hmm.
Is he
Weird
hidden?
lag with this roll 20. You are pretty hidden. You feel like you're pretty well hidden.
Hello?
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 Okay. So there's a 17 hit?
That will hit. Weird, I couldn't see the attack roll for whatever reason.
Yeah. Are you clicking on your rapier when you make the attack rolls?
That's a short bow.
Yeah.
And I can't add my
Anywho.
sneak attack for some reason. I'm going to just roll a d4.
It's d6 for sneak attack.
Thank you.
Yeah, you fire a bow from behind the rock, and it hits this glowing goblin right in the chest, and he collapses.
That ends my turn.
Okay. This one, seeing this massive figure skewer his friend, is going to take a short bow shot at Ginger Snap.
Right,
It's an
yeah, that'll
18.
hit.
Take 7 halved to 3 damage.
Done.
Okay. And this one, with the javelin now sticking out of his chest, is going to run away.
Coward.
Uh-oh.
Obo, it is your turn.
Surprisingly, the turtle man is the slowest in the party. Alright. So yeah. I had a plan, but Obo is going to run up to this guy and bonus action cast the cantrip Shillelagh on his quarterstaff. And then as an action, no. Yeah, then as an action, use a symbiotic entity, which that'll take up as action. And I'm going to expend a use of my, wild shape to grow spores on my shell and head to guard me. I gain 8 temporary hit points as well as a number of other features. Unfortunately, that ends my turn.
Okay,
But I am going to try to obscure this guy's vision as much as possible.
gotcha. So this other goblin is also going to shoot at Ginger Snap. 14.
That misses.
Okay. He's going to duck behind the tree and believe he's safe there. This goblin, now in the middle of this massive cloud, is going to see if he can tell where you all are. He has a general idea. He runs straight over there. And the Raging Barbarian is a very intimidating target. He's also going to shoot you. And
Nope.
miss. Coming out of the fog, it's still in his eyes. And it's your turn.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go for the one hiding in the trees, so I'll move up there.
That will hit. You slice down, cutting into his shoulder, and he is terrified but still up in front of you.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay. Julius.
All right. So with my rapier drawn, I'm just going to calmly look slightly over my shoulder. Jeb, do me a favor and give me a hand with this as I step towards this goblin and attempt to stab it. Let's see. Bink! 22.
That will hit.
Hell yeah. For 7 piercing. And yeah, I'll go ahead and throw down a bardic inspiration on my good friend Jeb as I sort of look over this shoulder.
Yeah. Jeb, you feel inspired.
Excellent.
Anything else?
That'll be it.
Jed, it is your turn.
Jed, feeling inspired, yells, "I feel inspired by my bottom warpath friend." And he kind of runs up a little bit and casts Ray of Frost. I'm going to add a d6 to that, is that right?
Correct.
Yes. That will just barely miss.
Oh, come on.
Said barely miss.
Right.
I can't use Tides of Chaos after I've already rolled something, right? To get a reroll.
Go ahead and put it in chat for me. Hmm.
You guys are all realizing the horrible.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now I see why
It-
Julius ran so far. Both Julius and Jed, but not Jed. Jupo
Jup.
ran so far away from.
I have no idea this was a thing.
Surprise!
I will say you can do it this time, and in the future, you can do it after the roll, but before I tell you if it hits or if you save, etc.
Alrighty, that's a hit.
That's a hit.
And he's going to use the rest of his movement to step into the fog cloud.
Okay.
Sorry, not the rest. A little bit more.
Gotcha. And this one, he doesn't know exactly where you are, Juppo, but he knows that he saw you run over there. Actually, since he rolled a 19.
Okay.
Yeah, he sees you down there. Sorry. I was going to take a swing at you.
I rolled a 24.
Well, you did attack after you stealth rolled, and I believe the book says that that stops you from being stealthed.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
That's true, yeah. Take another 3 slashing damage. You take minimum damage last time, too.
Stop hurting me.
No! It's your turn anyways.
I'm going to use my bonus action and disengage.
Okay.
And see 10. And I'm going to move straight up into the cloud
Okay.
and hold my turn.
Alright, what are you holding for?
I'm holding a short bow, and if I see anybody, if the cloud disappears or whatever, I'm going to attack the first thing I see.
Okay.
Precisely those words.
Gotcha. So this boy starts his turn there, which I think triggers
yeah,
your
when-
reaction if you want to.
Yes, he will have to make me another Constitution saving throw.
17.
Yes, that does make it, so he takes nothing.
So he saw his friend start coughing and he quickly covers his mouth when he realizes you're near him. But in his other hand, he's still going to take a swing at you with a scimitar
All right. Nope.
and miss horribly.
I like to think all the attacks hit him, but none of them actually do anything.
Oh, absolutely. Just bounce off that shell. But it is your turn now.
And looking at that, Obo will kind of look up at the goblin and hit him with his stick. So attack, please hit. That hits, right?
That hits.
Alrighty. Because of my symbiotic entity feature, when I hit with a weapon attack, I deal an additional 1d6 poison damage. So I do 8 bludgeoning and 5 poison.
Dang. Yeah, you kill him. It's because of the spores. What does it look like for you?
I think it's the shillelagh itself grows some gnarly looking spikes on it of a poisonous variety, and then he comes down on them hard and it crushes their skull.
Absolutely. He is done.
Alrighty, and with that, she's fine. I will go over to Julius with all my movement speed and try to make myself present myself as a larger target than Julius, possibly more threatening, as I did just smash his friend's skull in.
Okay, roll me intimidation.
Ooh.
With
Okay.
advantage, because you did just smash in his friend's skull.
Plus, this guy's probably almost dead.
Intimidation. It's not bad.
He seems pretty scared of you. Anything else?
Nope, that is it.
All right. This last goblin is going to take a swing at the raging gnoll and miss. And then he, recognizing why his friend ran away, is going to use his bonus action to disengage and start running. This one is going to take a swing at the scary turtle man.
So, because it is the start of a new round, does that mean I have my reaction back?
Since you took your turn, you get it back, so yes.
Alrighty, he will have to make me another Constitution saving throw. Nope.
Oh god.
And because I have Symbiotic Entity activated, the amount of damage he takes from my Halo of Spores increases by a die, so he takes 2d4. He takes 6 necrotic.
Takes 6. And actually, because of homebrew, I think I'm gonna do, he takes 12 because of the nat 1 on the saving throw. So, he is dead.
Shoot.
That was easy.
He just chokes to death as his mouth fills with spores, and then
He
turns
opens his
into a
mouth to
plant.
scream and just inhales a bunch of spores and then collapses.
Like, covered in spores.
Okay, Ginger Snap.
Ginger Step is going to use her movement to pursue this coward goblin. And try and Great Axe.
Okay. That will miss. Unfortunately.
Okay, that's my turn then.
Okay. Julius.
Oh lordy, here we go. So let's see. Look around, sort of, see that the goblins are dead, or at least all the ones that I could see. Would I be able to hear the fighting over here in this direction? Yeah.
You'd still be able to hear that goblin angrily chattering that Jeppa was able to run away from it.
All right, then I'll just sort of start working my way down. As I see it, I'm
Yeah, you
going
probably
to-
heard me scream.
just screaming off in the distance. I am going to point my finger at it and say, "I wish you were a dog, so at least I can love you in a small degree." And with that, vicious mockery. Oh wow, 1
Ooh.
damage. Ooh, damn, big whammy. Does it fucking matter?
He just turns around and flips you off.
On this fucking tiny son of a bitch.
Sorry.
I'm gonna send him to space.
Anything else?
That's all I can do.
All right, Jed.
Okay, Jed's gonna step back out, and he points at this goblin down here, and he yells at him, "You need to stay still so we can ask you some questions." And he rolls that.
Okay. Didn't even have to use Tides of Chaos.
Yeah, so it's 23 hit points for sleep. I rolled
As
the
he
d20
still has
for the-
his hand extended, flipping off Julius behind you, he just suddenly, his eyes roll back and he falls flat on his face. And I also need you to roll a d100. Okay. 17. It's just fine. The guy falls asleep in front of you. Nothing weird.
Cool. He looks over to Julius and he says, "Sometimes when I point at people and say that, they fall asleep."
Well, yes, it's because you're using magic, I believe.
Huh. And he looks at his finger. That's my turn.
Okay. This goblin is asleep.
Yep.
Juppo.
The fog's still up, right?
Fog's still up. You heard your companions yelling this out, but you aren't sure exactly what happened outside.
Um, I'm gonna step out and ask what's happening because I'm not quite sure. Anybody know what's happening?
We are killing them.
Who's them? Where are they?
He sort of just points to the asleep goblin.
That giant hyena lady's killing one.
I'll just I'll just put my short bow on my back again and pull my rapier and hold it at the back of his head.
Okay. He is snoring slightly. Very muffled because he's face down in the dirt. But Obo, it is your turn now.
Alrighty. Well, Obo, seeing that this boy has asphyxiated in front of him, he will use his movement and his action to dash to the other side of this goblin boy. And he'll say, "Now, son," and now that he's been sandwiched in between two rather large, monstrous-looking figures, one of which has a stick that's covered in one of his friends, he'll say, "I think it's best if you just give up now."
Okay.
And that'll be his turn.
And Ginger Snap will chitter in Goblin actually, because she does speak Goblin. Give up! Give up!
Ooh.
One of you can roll intimidation with advantage.
I think Ginger Snap should roll intimidation with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. You see a stain on this goblin's pants start to grow. As it is his turn.
At least he has pants.
True. Obo, do you want to poison him for good measure?
No.
He is throwing down his weapon now.
If he's
And
throwing
just
down
curling
his
up in a ball.
Okay, no, Obo does not force the saving throw this time. He will if the goblin tries to move out, because he can do it if they move, but not now.
Okay. Then I believe we are out of combat.
Ginger Snap will end her rage and pick up the Goblin, like kind of by the neck, but like not like by the back of the neck, so not choking him.
Jed runs over to the other one and looks over at Jupo and says, "This is what we call hog tie." And he takes his hempen rope and he hog ties the other one.
And Jupo is just gonna sigh a sigh of relief and sit on top of the goblin.
Yeah. Obo is while Ginger is holding the goblin up, I just noticed Obo also has rope. He's going to bind the goblin and says, "This is what where I come from we call swine bind." Entirely separate occasion.
Ginger Snap, once Obo's done tying this poor Goblin up, will pick it back up and like look at him, and then grumble in Goblin, "What tribe you from?"
And actually, before we get into this, why don't we take a break?
Okay.
Just
Sure.
quick 10-minute break. For 5 minutes.
Someone can
boss.
catch me up.
Alrighty. So Jupo, you went into
See
the
you in a bit,
tavern.
chat.
Oh, sorry. Are we still free to talk?
No, you're good.
Okay. Just making sure it's not going to mess up recording or anything. No, Jupo, basically what happened is, unless anybody else
I'll be
wishes
back.
to. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, yeah. So, Jupo, basically what happened is you guys entered the interdimensional tavern, and you found a wizard bartender, and he spoke to you guys and basically explained to you that the place was an interdimensional tavern. He was very friendly, and then this giant knoll lady named Ginger Snap, this giant turtle man named Obo entered the room and then bought you guys drinks, and now you're questing together. After we harassed some poor alchemy students
In the same bar?
in the same bar to give us novice level healing potions.
Yeah.
And then Julius was the kind one and paid, but I
You're trying to scam college students out of their money.
not trying to scam them. Obo was holding Ginger Snap back, and then Ginger Snap tried to intimidate them with violence, and that didn't go well.
Yeah, I got magicked.
I'm curious to see what the DC was, because something tells me we probably wouldn't have been able to repass it regardless.
So
Like maybe a natural 20.
what's this about a stone then? This quest.
Going to a town, there's a magic stone. They're worried about transferring it, so they want some highly expendable adventurers to come transfer it for them. You know, the usual.
What kind of magic?
Didn't say.
Didn't ask or didn't say?
Didn't say. It said nondescript glowing stone. Didn't even say magic.
I believe it said it had ruins on it, but that was it.
Yeah.
I'm back. So,
Well,
it said it had runes that nobody in the village could read, but you're not sure if they're like magical runes or if they just meant letters for some kind of text.
I'm not sure what expendable means, but it sounds fun.
Yes, I was about to say, Obo finds your Jed's perception rather shocking, as he kind of writ you off as a dullard.
Out of character, his intellect is low, but his wisdom is relatively high.
Oh, that is the same for my character. Awesome. We're all in the same
Oh my
low
gosh,
intelligence.
same!
Yeah, low intelligence, stupid people, but wise. We got street smarts. We're from the hood.
Oh my
from
god.
from the pig hood.
All
Yeah,
except.
I rolled a 6 for intelligence, so this is awesome.
Mmm.
Yeah.
Can you read?
Barely. Later on, you'll see some stuff that he's writing.
That's funny.
Just as an offhand, Ginger Snap can read, but it takes her, like, what would take someone like 5 seconds to read takes her like a full minute.
Wait, am I like the only person who can read in this party?
Obo can.
Probably.
Oh
The thing is,
god.
Obo can actually
n-
read very
I can-
well.
Well, I
can
guess probably,
read,
yeah,
right?
Jeppo can probably read.
So Obo can actually read really well, but his claw fingers make it really hard for him to write quickly. Obo can read and speak 4 languages, but don't ask him to start writing because it will take him forever.
Oh, there might be some surprises along the way, Broken Milk.
There will indeed. For many of you.
I'm scared.
I'm going to use my bonus action to hide right now.
Hide from social responsibilities.
In real life.
Hide from the disembodied voice in the sky.
Yeah, Obo is going to into his show.
That sound effect as well.
I'm really happy I can still do Is everyone back, or are we still waiting?
I think everyone's back.
Um,
Let me see.
Do you need me to roll anything to see if I can retrieve the arrow I shot into this goblin?
Oh yeah, same thing with my javelin.
The goblin ran off with your javelin in his chest.
I forgot that. Yes. Okay, so
So he and it are gone. If you wanted to, you could probably track the blood trail. He pulled it out eventually, you'd assume. We're not sure how far away it is now.
maybe once I talk to this goblin.
And as for the arrow, roll me a d4. On a 3 or higher, you get it. On a 2 or lower, you don't. Yeah, you can pull it out of him and manage to maneuver in a way that it doesn't break off.
Can Obo look at the scimitars they were trying to get us with and inspect them?
Actually, give me just a moment. I'm gonna pop this back in.
Oh, sorry.
So I have to remember to manually do that. All right, so we are back. Yeah. So, yeah, Jeppo is able to pull one of his arrows out of the goblin he killed. And Obo, what did you want to do there?
I wanted to look at the scimitars that they were swinging at us, see if they be any good.
So you look at him. Some of them are clearly, man-made, city-made with steel, but they're heavily rusted and pretty damaged. Some of the others are basically sharpened stones or stuff. They're definitely not high quality, not stuff you'd really want to use.
Yeah, kind of figured. Just nothing on these goblin boys. Then Obo would go to one of the dead ones. Actually, one of the ones that he didn't kill. If yeah, because the ones that he did kill are covered in spores, and he'd like to drag it back to Ginger Snap.
Okay, so that one is covered in spores.
Yeah, I think this
The
is
two
the only
closest-
one that's. Hey,
Yeah, that's the only dead one.
that's the only dead one that Obo didn't kill.
The one I'm currently at?
The one
No, the
next
one
to
by
Julius.
Julius.
Yeah, that one. That where I pulled the arrow out.
Oh yeah. Wait,
So I would be over him.
Obo, you would see after you pull the arrow out, would actually pick up the corpse and walk back silently.
And before he does that, can I find anything shiny?
Let me see. You don't really find anything on this goblin. He's basically a quiver with a few shoddy arrows, a sheath for a scimitar, and a loincloth.
As Obo's going back to retrieve a body, Ginger Snap is going to ask the gnoll in Goblin, "What tribe you from?"
With Chokes Hunters. We just want some food, gold, shiny.
Yes, yes. How big your tribe?
He holds up a finger. 1, 2, 3. He seems
She
to
waits patiently. She waits patiently. This is
pause.
relatable.
Seems to start panicking.
How big? How many?
Lots.
Lots. Yes, yes. She thinks for a moment. Goblin, you see. What your name?
Grocked?
Grokt. Yes, Grokt. You know big town, big city, right?
Huh?
Big city. By shore, by beach. You heard?
Rock Place, yeah.
Yes, yes. Bad city. You agree? Bad city, she says, like, demandingly.
Yes, bad city, bad.
We, goblin, orc, gnoll, we come here. We come from here. We here. You need tell your tribe. City bad. Yes, you go tell?
Yes, yes.
Yes, and they help gnolls eat city, yes?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes. She sets him down. Go tribe, tell bad. Or I eat you.
He runs away, kind of screaming a little bit. Half crying, half screaming.
She smiles proudly to herself.
I am entirely confused.
Does Obo get back with the body at this point?
So the rest of you all see Obo pick up this body and start to move north again. You do anything about that? Okay, then yeah, you got the body.
And I bring it
I
back.
guess-
Oh, and I would have untied the goblin when I set him free. So I have Obo's rope.
Just ran off with your javelin and my rope.
No.
Are you certain it was a good idea to let him go?
I don't think you saw it. I don't know.
I mean, I was down here when it happened.
You heard? Oh,
It's not exactly like there's a lot of stuff to do.
and there was a lot of crying and screaming going on. So you at least heard what the goblin was saying. Maybe not what Ginger Snap was saying.
Ginger Snap.
I didn't understand what they were saying. I just saw them say something.
it
Oh,
was-
yeah,
I
Goblin.
heard
They're
it. Yeah,
speaking
yeah. I
in
heard Goblin run off in the distance, like doing the Muppet run. Just like ah.
Ginger Snap turns proudly to Obo as he returns with the body. I set Goblin go tribe. He tell bad. He's tell city bad. Good idea. Good.
Which city? Oh, the big city.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Now, I thought we agreed to reserve judgment.
Yes, but only when in city.
Ah, very well. I mean, if they're at least afraid of us, then that could be beneficial. We might not get any more unpleasant visits. And Obo kind of holds up the corpse, which is hopefully still fresh enough.
Ah, you good friend. Thank you. Spirit said yes. She happily takes the corpse, starts digging in.
Is this something
No.
normal?
Just walks out,
Obo,
still eating the corpse.
Obo will look back to Julius. Yeah, it's the darndest thing. I can't figure it out for myself why she won't let me cook them, but she appears to make her better.
I won't use my traits yet when I'm eating this corpse. So right now I'm just eating it for fun.
Okay.
This is normal?
Well, normally we cook them.
You hear
I mean,
you start
Jed-
hearing the snapping his bones as she gets deeper in.
Jupo,
Ew.
I'm not sure if you have much room to talk, as you did harvest the flesh off of a fish person.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you still
I mean,
have that,
it's-
by the way?
Ginger Snap might smell it.
If you're
I-
still holding onto it, everyone could smell it. So for context, he has 2-week-old Sahagin meat in his bag.
Oh my- And
And
Obo
I'm just pointing at Jed. It's him. It's him.
I took a bath.
And Obo will kind of look and say, "Hey, you guys want some? It is good." And
I think I shall pass.
I mean, I'd cook it for you, but very well.
I'm not a fan of eating anything that can talk to me.
Can't talk no more. And then then he's eating.
She is right.
I suppose you are technically correct.
Ginger
And
Snap. Does she notice this tied up goblin over here?
Yeah, Obo was about to comment too.
Yeah, between bites, you glance around and you do see this goblin now hogtied and still sleeping face down in the dirt.
She makes her way over. She finishes her meal. Can't quite get through the skull, so she just kind of tosses it aside. She looks to Jed. Why you tie this one?
I want to talk to it.
She looks, kind of tilts her head. You know Goblin?
Which one?
No. She laughs. Language. Word. Choices. Speech.
Oh, how to talk to him? I mean, I'll just talk to him. Hopefully that'll work.
She shrugs. You try.
Yeah.
She gives the goblin a little kick in the side. And but when I say little, I mean little in relation to like a knoll.
It's like a 7
Okay,
foot 7
he
knoll.
lets out a squeak and skids a few feet on the ground. And kind of, looks around.
Jed gets down real close to him with a big old smile on his face. He says, "Hi."
And
What's
Ginger
your
Snap, you
name?
hear, what do you want? He's like, huh?
She's just gonna let Jed do his thing. She's amused.
Okay.
Cool. What's your name?
Go.
Jed repeats that and says, "My name's Jed." Why'd you try to kill us?
He just looks confused, then glances over at the other two people, still covered in the blood of his friends, and kind of looks scared, and starts trying to slide away as best he can with arms and legs tied.
She goes over and, in relation to a goblin, lightly steps on his back to stop him. She looks to Jed, looks to the goblin, and starts speaking in goblin. Name?
Stool.
Stool.
Like poop?
She doesn't. She doesn't know that particular word in goblin. She just thinks it's a name. But she
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she says stool out loud. I guess Jed would probably be like, no, I don't smell anything. Anyway, so can you can talk to him?
She says in common, yeah. What you want to say?
Why did you attack us?
She translates.
Kind of chokes out because of the pressure on his lungs. He says, gold, food, shiny. Lots shiny. People have shiny. Come through.
What was the goblin I let go? What was his name? I forgot.
Kim.
Forgot to. I think it was Gruktul.
Yeah, Graktul.
Something like that.
She says in goblin, you know Graktul?
Yeah.
Yeah. Graktul. Graktul, go back to tribe. You want to go back to tribe?
Yes. Yes.
Good, you answer question. Why you attack us? Besides, God, I already asked that. I'm tired. I'm sorry. She tells Jed why he attacked us.
Okay. Jed probably say something like, well, you could probably like farm or something and earn some money. You could raise pigs.
She says in goblin, good money in city. Attack city, good gold, good shiny, good meat.
And he replies, City too big. Can't get in. We find people out here. Come from city. Bring gold.
She chuckles. Yes, city big for one goblin tribe, but two goblin tribe, gnoll tribe, orc tribe, all together, fight city. Yes? Big money, big meat.
Yes.
Yes. And she turns to Jeb and says, he like farm idea.
Oh, that's wonderful. If you can interpret for me, I'll tell him all about pig farming. And he
Too long.
So while Ginger Snap and Jeb are having this conversation, can Obo make an insight check on Ginger Snap to see if he knows she's lying?
Sure. And Ginger Snap, you can roll deception.
Yep. Obo
It's
believes
kind
her.
of hard to read because, and she's all covered in blood. Her face is kind of different, and talking in Goblin. You're not quite sure.
Yep, Obo believes her.
So
All right.
as Jeb is starting to explain the ins and outs of pig farming, she says, too long. He pick up pig farming from Traveler. He go back to tribe and spread idea. Yes?
That sounds awesome. I'm
Yes.
glad to hear it. And he says his name because I forgot it already. I'm glad to hear it. Name.
Stool.
Stool. Oh yeah. I'm glad to hear it, Stool. I'm glad to see you turn over a new leaf, and I hope your tribe follows you. Have a good day. And he unties him.
She says in Goblin, go back tribe. Help Gragnock. I think that's his name. Help spread word. Attack city. Go.
And he just, as soon as his arms and legs are free, scrambles on the ground and just extremely quickly just is out.
She smiles proudly.
How banged up is Ginger Snap looking after the last fight?
Oh, not too much. That's why. Yeah.
Actually,
she's
you can roll that die.
Yeah, I just
No,
did,
it hasn't been that amount of time. Okay,
yeah,
never
I
mind.
just don't want to this time because it's not that much damage. Don't want to waste it.
Yeah, I'll just sort of look over at Ginger Snap and sort of look her up and down and say, yeah, here you go. Is a little something to give a hand.
Yeah, as you look at her, it seems she's covered in blood, but most of it isn't her blood.
Oof.
Okay. So she'll take that healing.
Jed looks up at Ginger Snap and says, "Man, Ginger Snap, with your help, I think we could probably turn this whole wilderness around and make it a happier, friendlier place."
Yes, we could. And she looks back at Julius, kind of confused. She kind of made the connection between him saying something and her feeling better. What you do?
I fixed you. Not like that kind of fix, you won't.
Little snip, snip.
Mm-hmm.
She shrugs. Yes, thanks. You do good fight.
You too, I suppose.
Did the DM say that 10 minutes have passed? Because if so, then my temporary hit points go away.
By the time you've finished all these interrogations, probably, yeah.
Alrighty. No longer covered in mushrooms.
Ginger Snap rolls her shoulders, looks up the path. We keep going, village?
Yes, I think it'd be a good idea to, continue our pace.
Well, then, let us be on our way.
Jumbo is gonna stand up slowly, visible in some kind of discomfort, and follow the rest of the group.
Jed's got a new pep in his step.
So as you all continue on, eventually you keep walking through the forest. You recall the barkeep mentioned it was usually about a day and a half travel along the road to get to the village. But Ginger Snap, you bet you could get there in a day. But as you start to get where you think you're pretty close, night starts to fall. So you could either push through for a few more hours or you could set camp.
Gingersnap has no problem with the dark. Gingersnap thinks we should push through.
Oboe, on the other hand, does have a problem with the dark. Says, I don't know how similar this place is to home, but if it's anything like it, all the real dangerous stuff comes out at night.
You make a valid point, and I'm with you. Better set up camp.
How far do you think we are from the camp, Ginger Snap?
How far do I think we are?
Roll me a survival. It's a while.
A bit.
Well, then, yes, it's probably best to stay for the night.
Yes, if Spirit sent wants to stay, we stay.
I say we
I
find a
suppose.
good, well-hidden position, Ginger Snap, for the night. Our compatriots may not be as accustomed to the wilderness as you are.
Yes, and I guess I'll take a look around, trying to find a good place.
I will help her.
Okay, then you can roll survival with advantage.
16.
You find a kind of more densely populated grove of trees around a small, say, 10-foot across clearing. You could probably set up a few tents. Easy enough.
She guides the group into this little safe haven in the woods, or hopefully safe haven, and gets out her bedroll, just kind of flops it on the ground, and then sits right next to it.
So, Jed, what are you casting that on? Or are you casting that?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast it on like a leaf that's above us or something.
All right.
So we can all see.
As you cast that cantrip, it seems weird. It actually seems to get darker around you instead of lighter. It seems like it had the opposite effect.
Oh no.
Are you well over there?
It's not supposed to do that. I think it's broken. Let me try it again.
Okay. And as you move over and cast it on another leaf, it works properly this time.
Oh, whew. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I don't know. I think I bumped my hand or something.
Fair enough, I suppose. Julius just sort of looks like you're a bit confused.
And Oboe kind of looks at him and says, so you cast the spell which you meant to do one thing and it did the exact opposite. And this is a normal occurrence?
Yeah, isn't it for everybody else?
I'm just gonna
No.
lean up against the tree he casted on the first time.
Yeah, Oboe kind of goes, I can't say it's ever happened to me, but who's to say it won't? And he'll go back to helping Ginger Snap set up camp.
Yeah, Jippo, you disappear into this magically darkened tree.
Nice. You guys see Jed sit down, open up this leather-bound tome, I guess. And he opens up pretty close to the beginning, and he starts writing down stuff. He's not trying to hide it or anything, so if you look over his shoulder, you see he's writing stuff, but it's very poorly spelled. There's a lot of stick figures, and the handwriting is absolutely terrible. And you might even see like pictures of like a green man and a turtle and a dog and a baby.
Aww.
It's like a regular dog and turtle.
Exactly.
A baby.
And a
Just
baby.
big.
It's a baby.
A very large child.
No, the baby like Savo's gift that he posted on Discord.
Right in the fields.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if we get camp set up, Obo will recommend that we set up a watch.
I'll take first watch.
DM, how many watches do you think we need in order to get through the night?
Say 3 watches is probably good.
Obo will take.
I keep safe.
Alrighty, then Obo will take the last watch.
I can't see at night, so I'd probably take the first or the last.
Well, I suppose I shall take the second one then.
We can double up.
I mean, that was the plan, I believe.
Alrighty. So
Alright.
I think. Yep.
Wait, so
So
who's
who's
watching
taking
the
first?
stairs? I'm confused.
Yeah. Because there will be one out since you're 5.
So who's the first, and are they with a partner?
Well, since it's still kind of light, right? I'll go first, right?
I'll join you.
So Jed and Jeppo are first.
Who is second?
I heard Julius say he'll take second.
Yeah, if anyone wants to join me, feel free to.
Obo is square in the last position.
Okay, so I guess that means I would not want to join. Well, I feel like Ginger Snap would feel like Julius would do an inadequate job, so she would double up with him reluctantly.
Okay. And are you lighting a fire or just letting the light cantrip go for a while?
I'm not opposed to a fire. I just have a light thing to read by. I have my own rations. I'm not sure what everybody else is doing for food.
I know Ginger Snap already ate.
I'm waiting for my shift to end, and then I'll have a ration and go to bed.
So I guess there's no need for a fire.
Yeah. Nothing to cook.
Okay. So first up is Jeppo and Jed. You can either both make perception checks or one of you with advantage.
I'm going to roll it.
Just, say both of you roll for simplicity's sake. Okay. Jeppo, you're a little more on edge since you haven't had as much experience in the wilderness with this kind of thing. But Jed, you keeping a pretty close eye out. There's a lot of weird differences of the forests here compared to where you're at home. Stranger animal sounds in the distance and such, but nothing seems to strike you as dangerous or anything nearby during your watch.
Excellent.
I pull out my rapier. And I'm going to sit down and start polishing my sword.
Okay.
I know there's an inappropriate joke in there somewhere.
I know, I wasn't going to say it.
Yep.
Come on.
Even I didn't think of that. Jesus, guys.
Sausage on again.
But your watch passes without incident. So you wrap up and head to bed. And next up is Julius and Gingersnap.
Okay.
Both
I-
of
Sounds like a
you
plan.
roll me perception. Julius with disadvantage. Because I don't
How
think
would-
you have dark vision.
No, I have dark vision.
Yeah, half orcs
Oh.
have dark vision.
Half orc.
How would
Cool.
How would Ginger Snap respond to us waking her up?
Bonk.
Which one of you is waking me up, Jeppo or Jed?
I'll probably send Jet to do that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be afraid of you.
She like does a little like a snap at you with her jaws, and then kind of blinks, and gets up. Like doesn't even acknowledge that she almost just bit your face off.
He'd probably hop back and be like, "Oh, yeah, that's funny." All right, good night.
Right, night. And she takes up a position, watching.
Okay. Pretty similar story. Julius is also on edge, perhaps a bit interested in nature, maybe. But
Nature's
there's
pretty
nothing
cool sometimes.
Yeah, it's alright when it's not trying to kill you.
True.
And as you take a look around, nothing catches your attention during the night.
Ginger Snap would not interact with Julius. Like she'd keep on glancing at him to make sure like he didn't not notice anything, but she would not want to talk with him. She'd be on like the other side of the camp.
That's fair.
Okay. So, at the end of your watch, don't seem to notice anything.
I carefully wake Obo up.
And with a sound, Obo comes out of his shell.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I do little, God, what's it called? Shaking a haircut or something on his shell.
Yeah. And Obo will get up and Obo will start his watch.
Okay.
Already. Oh man, these perceptions.
All been great so far.
13. So, alright, as you're keeping watch, most of your watch is pretty quiet and uneventful. Birds start singing and everything, and then kind of hear something off to the northwest. It sounds like something large is kind of crunching through the forest. Seems a little ways off, but you're not sure exactly how far or what it might be.
So you said there were birds.
Just kind of singing in the morning light.
I don't suppose Slyvan helps me talk with birds. Wait, no, that's fairies. That's fairies, my bad. Damn. Well, Obo will go and look to see if. How far did it sound away?
It sounded a ways away, like you doubt you'd be able to see it from the camp. Like in the
Obo
distance, but large enough that you would hear it.
Obo would continue listening very carefully and very quietly after repositioning himself that way. And if it gets any closer, he'll do something.
Okay. Are you trying to be sneaky and listening on it? Or just kind of standing, paying attention to it?
Right now, all of his attention is focused on the sound.
Okay. You hear it starting to make its way through the forest, kind of moving from west to east across the path north of you. And as it kind of makes its way through the trees, you catch a glimpse. It looks like a massive brown boar with what looks like 6 tusks standing far taller than Ginger Snap even.
Has it noticed me?
Let's see. Do you want to try to hide?
Yeah, sure. Oh, these good rolls.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Uh, yeah, with passive perception. It goes down, kind of half-heartedly swings its tusks and knocks a tree down beside it, just cracking at the base. As it does, it kind of glances in your direction and sees this giant turtle kind of standing behind a tree that's far too small to hide him, shall we say?
all right. If he gets hostile, if he looks like he's about to charge, I'd like to do something if I can. It's going to require an action.
Okay. You see it start to turn toward you and breathe heavily.
Okay, cool. Um, I'm gonna cast animal friendship on it.
Oh god.
Please work, damn it. I'm gonna die. Please be an animal. I don't know.
Okay. See, kind of like slows its breathing and cocks its head curiously at you.
Oh, you're lucky.
I'm one lucky motherfucker. Holy I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse.
You're so lucky his intelligence is lower than 4.
It's wisdom. Okay. So from that spell lasts for a good 24 hours. And with that, Obo will begin ritual casting Speak with Animals.
Okay.
And usher it closer into the camp.
We're just all sleeping. We hear clunk, clunk, yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, no, that's a bad idea. I'll go to it.
Okay.
And we're all asleep during all this, right?
You're all asleep at this point still.
Okay. So, 10 minutes pass. I'm assuming. Can I speak with him?
You can certainly try.
Okay, after ritual casting the Speak with Animal spell, I will attempt to speak with such creature. Say, well, aren't you mighty big fella? What are you doing in these parts of the woods?
Big. Want food.
Ah, and what kind of food do you eat?
Uh, goblins, fruit, all but trees.
Trees ain't too tasty for it. That
No.
makes sense. Alrighty. Well, give me just a minute. And, I'm going to take out one of my rations and I'm going to prepare it for him nicely. Just a bunch of fruits and dried meat. And I'm going to give him one. This is a little snack to hold a little while.
He opens his mouth.
And Obo will put it in and then make sure his hand doesn't bitten on the way out.
Okay. Bites down on it, and this is about the equivalent of 2 peanuts. Size comparison to him.
I mean,
He
it's an
almost
entire day's
swallows
worth.
without chewing.
Yeah, it's an entire day's worth of food for Obo. Jeez. I say, let's say in a couple hours, you and me go hunting for some. Actually, if you wait right here. No, that wouldn't be a good idea. How close is it to dawn?
It's dawn at this point. Sun's come up, and you assume your companions will be up in the next few minutes on their own.
Alrighty. Since I'm assuming they'll be up in a little bit anyway, Obo would like to wander. And if possible, in this area, I would like to be able to find enough food for for myself and 5 other people. So 6
Okay.
people's worth of food from animals and berries if possible.
Are you going on your own or taking the boar with you?
Oh, the boar's coming with.
Okay. So you go off and do that. The rest of you I'll say Ginger Snap is the first to wake up since you're used to this kind of terrain. And you look over and Obo is gone, and you hear the loud crashing of a beast making its way through the forest.
Ginger Snap
And you-
is immediately in gotta protect turtle mode and grabs her great axe and charges into the forest after the sound.
Julius is just sort of
Shit,
wake
I
up. He's like,
should have
wait,
woken
hold
up
on, no,
Ginger Snap.
hold on, wait. As he's like yelling after Ginger Snap.
She pays him no mind.
And Jupo just goes, 5 more minutes, Mom. 5 more.
And Obo will kind of gently position himself next to the boar, kind of patting his side. And
Ginger
keeping a
Snap-
lookout.
Ginger Snap sees this.
And your tribe has hunted these before, but they can usually take down 1 or 2 gnolls with them every time you hunt them. So they're pretty difficult.
Yeah. So I do see that Obo is like being gentle with this creature.
Yeah, do I see her approaching?
You do. Are you like doing a war cry or something?
Possibly.
Or just running at him?
Probably just running for the moment, as to not call the least amount of attention to myself. But I am like barreling through the forest, so.
Okay.
And Obo kind of turns around and like, no.
She like stops like mid, almost trips over like a tree trunk or something, and like has to like catch herself with a great axe and stops, and just looks at Obo, and looks at the huge boar.
And I looked back at the boar for a little bit and said, tell me, friend, what do they call you?
Heard you say boar.
Then I will call you Buddy. You can be Buddy.
She straps her great axe back to her back and kind of very interesting. Like she's very interested in this whole situation and walks up to Obo at a normal pace, looking at this boar.
And I say, well, Ginger Snap, this is Buddy. He's our friend for the time being. I was just about to go find him some food.
She kind of grins and clasps her hands together. Spirit sent you befriend Big Boar.
I'm attempting.
Buddy exhales heavily, and as you look at him, Ginger Snap, you get the sense he does not care for you.
She backs off, kind of puts her hands in front of her and like that kind of, showing her hands, not making any too sudden movements.
Alrighty. Can you wait back at camp for me while I go scrounge up this rather hungry fella some grub?
Yes, I tell others how great you are.
Oh, much appreciated.
She heads back to camp at a normal pace.
Welcome back.
She grins at the people who have awoken in the time being. Couldn't find that word. And says, "Spirit said, tame great big boar."
Excuse me.
Yes, yes, make boar friend.
Very well. He sort of just looks visibly confused as he like goes to sit down again.
He
Don't
be
we-
back soon with food.
Oh, are you calling him Spirit?
Yes, yes, turtle. Spirit sent.
It's a strange
Ah.
name, I suppose.
All right. He starts rolling up
Okay.
his bedroll.
Yeah, and she'll start helping pack up the camp as she waits for Obo's return.
Okay. Obo, make me a perception check.
Oh, please, for once in your life, don't roll a crap perception check. Oh, come on, man. This is why I made you.
I'll actually give you advantage because the boar is helping you technically.
Okay.
Better.
Some adequate rolls.
So,
So as you're making your way through the forest, you overhear the sound of chattering again. Familiar chattering from goblins. As you kind of peek your head through the bushes, you see 3 goblins kind of arguing, one with a javelin wound in his chest.
My boys.
okay. Okay. So, I can't listen to what they're talking about. I don't know what they're saying. That's unfortunate. I will hide down into the bushes and I will tell Thor to make his presence known and roar really loud if he can.
He kind of looks at you questioning, like, what is this? What's going on?
I point at the goblins.
He turns, looks through the trees, kind of squints, and you see him exhale heavily, his muscles tense, and he charges.
Alrighty, well, I tried.
And it is like a bowling alley. He just charges through them and they scatter, go limp on the ground.
Right.
And he comes back still friendly, right?
With a hand or mouthful of goblin, yeah.
Alright. Do goblins really taste that good raw? I frankly like my goblin cooked well done.
Well, to a boar, he doesn't exactly have high standards.
I'm wondering, would Obo, if one of the goblins was the one that we that Obo tied up, would he recognize him?
Yeah, would Obo recognize him?
Say, with the forest pretty cleared now between you and the goblins, you can make out they look familiar and they seem to be the 3 that got away.
Is there a javelin there?
Roll me a perception check.
Come on, man!
You do not see a javelin.
Good, Obo. I apologize. I have to take a second to say that me as a player, perception is the bane of my existence, where I've never, even with a character who was good at it, been able to roll a good perception check.
Do what I do at the start of every session and roll 100.
Alrighty. So after a bit of gathered food and whatnot, Obo will return with Boar Friend in tow.
Okay. You have enough berries and various scrounged materials to feed your party, and the boar seems full, a bit bloody. But
Alrighty.
he's satisfied now.
Yep. So after 3 goblins, I now have 6 people's worth of food. I give everybody 1 person, and then the 6th one goes to the forest like a side treat.
He accepts it happily.
Alrighty. And then Bobo comes back with giant boar friend.
She like gestures towards the boar. See.
So, what's the deal with this boar?
And I go over to him and I'm like, just be glad you weren't stomped to death in the middle of the day, or I mean, in the early hours of the morning.
Well, I'd imagine I would have heard him coming, but
Yeah, she looks over at Jed. Big skin, you know boar, yes?
He brought us breakfast.
Yeah. So, and I
That's a
tell
lot of
everybody,
bacon.
so long as we don't attack him, he won't harm.
I'm just gonna look at my rapier and look at the boar and look at my rapier and just shrug and walk off.
Man, I miss bacon.
Alrighty. And just as a final gesture to this boar, I will mash up some berries and I say, now boar, this here is the mark of my tribe, and I put in another tribe of it kind of looks like a half shell, teeth under it. This means we're allies, soul bonded as brothers.
a little bit forward, don't you think?
And by this point, talk with animals has faded, but he seems to accept whatever you're doing.
And I say, I hope to be on good terms with you in the future, friend. And I'm going to send him off into the away from the direction we are traveling.
Okay. And he smashes his way through the forest once again. And you hear him crunching through the distance until it's quiet once again.
And Obo will let out a big I've seen that go a lot worse.
Ginger Step excitedly like pats Obo on the back. You're so great! You make friends with boar, you save! She's very excited.
Oh yes, yes we did.
Yes, that was a rather odd set of events, but it worked out, I suppose.
Coolio. Yeah. So if camp's all packed up, are we going to head out?
You can certainly keep going.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, I think we should put as much distance as we can between this camp and swine or boar, whatever that thing was, and go to that village as soon as we can.
Yep. And our Obo did consider riding the boar if anybody had accidentally tripped and may have caused a point of damage to our boyfriend. We would be in deep.
Accidentally, yes.
Yeah, accidentally caused some damage to our boyfriend. We would be in deep shit.
Okay, so as you all continue, you're close enough that Ginger Snap, you don't have to make a roll, you just know the route.
Gotcha.
And as you continue on, it's much less destroyed now that you're out of the boar's territory. And after about another 2 or 3 hours of making your way through the forest, you see the edge of a village in front of you. And I think that actually might be a good place to stop.
Yay!
Hooray!
We survived.
Oh, but my goblin boys died.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Obo kind of goes, ugh, and keeps walking. Like, well, at least no negative repercussions could come from it now.
What
No,
could go
out of
wrong?
character. I was looking forward to fighting that.
It's a fun
Funny
one.
to fighting that giant boar. Yeah, I wanted to use him again in our next fight, but then I figured I don't think that'd be too fair to whatever the DM had planned. Also, that could go poorly still.
Oh, I did
Also,
it
if
in
you're
the last
going into a
campaign.
village with that,
Yeah,
I'm not saying it'd go badly, but
I'd say I
But it,
doubt we'd be able to one round the thing before it
Are you
started
kidding me?
killing people.
We'd slaughter that thing. We'd just sneeze on it and it would die.
Totally.
Sure. Sure, let's go with that.
all
Well,
right.
that was a good session.
Well done. And for those of you that stuck around, or even those that just checked in and checked out, or
Sorry.
those that are watching the VOD, thanks for watching. And check in next week for the other campaigns, Sufiria and Rise of the Rune Lords, as well as us back next Monday. Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.